It's train time, starting now, right after this small intro.
In compliance with COPA, this video is not for children under the age of 14. Viewer discretion is advised. Sponsored by Canadian Model Railroad.ca and by donations from patrons like you. Further support provided by miniprint.ca. Make your layout come alive with the 3D creation of miniprint.ca. And now on with the show with your hosts, Peter and Joe.
Well, Peter, what time it is?
It's train time.
Wow.
Episode
22. October 2021.
Yes. Visit to Portage.
Yep. That was a great day at the Portage Model Railroad Club.
Running of the trains.
Running of the Train Days 2021. What amazed me is they got even layouts that are interactive at the club. And they had that little layout down on the
floor for the little guys to play with.
And they had the time of the day.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I'm running a B-roll on that.
Yeah.
You know, so you had the chance to do some great interviews.
Yes, we did. We did a few interviews with people there that are involved with the club.
You know, they got the world by both ends.
Yes.
On the sense that they are an historic building, which is the old Canadian Pacific train stations.
That burned.
Yeah, and they redone it.
Yes, they're connected with the Heritage Group in Portage.
And then they have two natural 1-to-1 inches layout. One, if you go by the back door, is the CP main line.
Yes, because it's a CP station, right?
Right. If you go out on the front door, 150 meters, and you got the CN main line.
CN main line, yes.
So you can do rail fanning.
Yep.
On HOs on rail.
Yes.
So it's great. You got everything in there.
Oh yeah, it was, and it was a super day. It was mid-20s, sunshiny. We had trains running on both main lines outside. We had Portage's modular layout that they take to train shows.
Yep.
They had their main HO layout in the baggage area of the station, and they also have O-scale and N-scale layouts for people to see.
Yeah, a lot of things, and they even had a selling table, you know, to sell stuff and so on. Mm-hmm. And they had visitors right away from St. Anne, Manitoba, which is pretty far.
Yeah.
That was a good ride for these people to come to Portage, you know, and visit the club. So thank you for coming, guys.
Yeah.
Anyway. Let's go to the interview that Peter made.
Yeah, enjoy.
Yeah. We're here today at the Portage Model Railroad Club. They're having their running of the trains, and I'm here with Malcolm Stanley, who is a member of the club and also one of the hardworking members that helped restore some of the station. So, Malcolm, I'm just going to ask you, I know we're sitting in this alcove, but explain our backdrop, this wood backdrop that you discovered.
Yes, well, before we ever had the model railroad, we had to do some major renovations in here, which I was happy to be able to head up with others, of course, of the club. But anyway, this was always closed in here. It had been done that for security reasons with metal and everything, and everybody said, when are we going to open this thing? Because you can see the tracks in either direction, and it's where the train master used to look to see what was coming. So we just did this a month ago, just over a month ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we ripped it out, and had to take all the windows and smash this stuff out. They nailed it on so well. It was really a big job. And then we managed to get this metal, as you see here, the safety metal. There it was here, laying around all rusty. Anyway, we got it, sprayed it all up and got it, so now our windows are open.
Very good.
That's the latest thing we've done here.
Now, the wood behind us, this tongue and groove, there's a story behind that as well.
Well, there is, yes. As we should say that this place was almost destroyed with a fire, and then it was saved by the Heritage. They look after the building, and so it was a mess in here. Anyway, all the walls were covered with plywood, quarter-inch plywood, and varnished. So we actually, one piece fell off, and we said, "Wow, look what's underneath them, wainscoting." That's the original wainscoting, which you can see probably from there, can't you? And so we said, "What are we going to do?" We said, "Well, we're going to refinish it," and there was no baseboard on a lot of it. So we decided, you can't see, but this part of the building was the original, just this one here. And then they built washrooms, so of course there was no wainscoting on there, or in any of this part here. So when we got that far, we said, "Well, what are we going to do?" So the other man I worked with, somebody had dropped off at his place for firewood a whole yard load of good 1x6 from a fence. No rotting or anything, just he didn't like the color, he wanted to have it wood. So we found out that if we cut them properly, we could make exactly the same size as this wainscoting. And so we did that, cut it so it looked the same. And we were able to finish this whole thing right in the washrooms, right? 2 walls on this one. And then we went around, and I did most of it. I did the staining here to make it look, it doesn't look very good, but I guess it looks like woodwork.
Well, it looks like the original old station.
Yes. So that was a many week job. But and then we had to make this because this had all gone off the top. So we had to get some wood and run that through a router. And so, yeah, that was another big job.
You've got a kind of an ideal situation here. You're partnered with the Heritage Group that own the building. Is that right? That the Heritage people own the building, and then you do work on it?
Yeah, that's right. Heritage look after the building. They pay the heat and the light and what have you. We are still the ones who do any maintenance there is around there. So we don't charge anything, but we can get whatever we want to do it. For instance, I'm doing the grouting in all this wall behind us here because the wind used to blow right through. That's in the back there. So we're grouting all that had all fallen out. So they pay for that, and we don't. So there is some stuff that they can sell, which is sent to Heritage. They can put that in the bill, but mostly we look for grants, and so the grants go to the Heritage, and we get the building free.
That's really an ideal situation.
We've had people here at some of the big when we started out from the States, and they were almost in tears. I said, "Well, where's your club?" It's all stuck in a garage because we lost the building, because they took it back, or we couldn't afford the rent anymore, and so many places were like that. And I think we've had them in Manitoba too.
Well, that's what happened to our Selker Club. Our rent got too high, and we couldn't afford to keep it with the membership. How long have you been with the Portage Club?
Well, it must be, I did look it up the other day, but with my age, I can't remember dates very much. But it's probably about 12 years now, something like that. Just after it started, the man who you paid your money to over there, he got in a little mall that we've got up here, he had a display, and that's the first thing I ever saw. What's this going on? Well, we said, we're trying to start a model railroad club. And so I was probably one of the first ones to join way back then. And I had a few little things like this one here at home for my kids, but they'd grown up. And so I donated all my stuff here, so I don't have anything at home.
Yeah, I was talking to somebody else, and they said that their personal stuff would be donated to the club when they didn't use it at home anymore. So
that's what we tell the members. No, you don't have to have one at home. You can come and play these times anytime you want to. And we do have one member who's got one, a very big one. He's not here today. They were away somewhere, and a farmer. out in the country on a farm. He's not a farmer, but he does a little bit. But his whole basement is full, and he's got a yard as big as that yard back. He fixed the yard back there in the O gauge. No, the HO back there. But wired it all up so it's all remote. He did the whole thing. So we got some real technicians amongst us too.
Real mix of people's know-how.
Just exactly what we need, really. It really goes very well.
Big advantages of the club.
What we would like is some younger men. That's all, some younger men, because I probably look it too, but I'm 88 years old, so how many more years am I going to be able to do what I'm doing? But I'm very thankful that I'm able to do this.
Well, I'm sure this show, with the number of young people around, hopefully you'll get some younger members eventually. And on behalf of our CMR Productions, I'd like to thank you for this time that you've spent with us in this interview, and wish you all the best in the future and in your restoration work. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you for coming and doing what you do.
You're most welcome. We are here at the Portage Model Railroad Club, and they're running the train day. I'm with Charlotte Jones, who is train hobbyist. And Charlotte, I'm glad to have you on the show. And I'd just like to ask you, how did you get into model trains?
Well, I've been interested in trains since I was a kid. And my hometown had a main train run through it, and we used to watch that. But I've been interested for many years.
I noticed that you're in O gauge. Any particular reason?
No, that's the club train there. I have a HO set in my basement that's mine.
Okay, so you run the O scale here, but you have HO at home. And it's kind of unique having a woman interested in model trains. I'm sure you've had comments about that.
Well, yes, but you'd be surprised how many ladies come through here that are my age. Lots of gray hair. Yeah, so I know there's people out there besides me.
Have you been a member with the club for a number of years as well?
Yes, I started the club in 2009, I believe, and I've been there ever since.
That's really good. What size is your layout at home?
Just 4x4, but I have built layers on it so that it's higher. So I have 3 trains running on the 4x4 board. So it's
a different concept, but why not, right?
Well, if you're short of space, you go up.
Well, I was short of space and I went to N scale, so I have N scale and HO. So
yeah, N scale's a little small for my use. Yes.
Well, I'd like to thank you for your time with us, and wish you all the best in the hobby, and it's good to promote women and get them involved in the hobby as well, right?
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. We hope to see you again in the future.
You will.
We're here today at the Portage Model Railroad Club, and they're running the trains. And I'm with Guy Gauthier. And Guy, you are
the president of the Portage Model Railroad Club.
Okay, president of the Model Railroad Club. Okay, how long has this club been in existence, whether in this building or elsewhere?
And it started basically in the mall about 11 years ago. And then eventually we became, when they took over the building in 2003, I believe that we became associated with the heritage group that was doing the rentals of the building and trying to save the building. So we became part of their group, and then we kind of got along good, and we decided to move the model railroad to this building, and ever since then we've been here. And it's been a good relationship between the Heritage Incorporated and ourselves. We do have a room, but we also basically have expanded throughout the whole station, and that seems to be the highlight that draws a lot of people in. We both benefit from it because we benefit from the factor that we get model railroads coming in and they benefit by getting people show interest in the heritage part of our country and the heritage part of the railroad that played within our country and that. So yeah, it's been a good relationship. It's been very nice, and it's a very nice building considering its age and factor in that.
Like when you think about it, it's really an ideal situation, the kind of marriage between the heritage group and the club. How many members do you presently have here?
Well, we are just slightly over about 23. I think it's 23, 24. I would have to check it because this is the beginning of the year, and a few members we have to see if they're sign up. We did get some new members this year, which was very good. We appreciated that much. So yeah, we've been studying around the 20 mark, and it's been pretty steady. And we lost a few because they pass on and that, and a few have moved on. But then we also gained a few new members and that. We're very fortunate that we do have young members in our club. Some of the younger members are showing us the new technology that goes in model railroad, the digital stuff, and now you can use your phone to run trains, switch tracks and everything else, so it's great fun.
It's a little above me.
Yeah, a little above me too. But our youngest member, believe it or not, he's about 10 years old. Yeah, and we were open to members like that. His mom, I should say, is a member of our club too as well, and helps us with the secretarial work. But she joined basically because he was interested in trains. He's the one who brought her into our club. So yeah, we do have we could say, young members. It's nice to see when you see a couple of young kids running around and they're really into trains at that age. We're looking for the future, and that's great for us.
They show a genuine interest in the. You have a number of different scales here. Can you just kind of let us know what you have here?
Okay. To present date, we have 6 layouts in here. 2 HOs, 2 Ns, and 2 O scales. One of the HO is our mobile unit, which we move to the shows around the country. Wherever we go to a show, we move that one. We were just recently in Winnipeg for the Mega Train Show, and we just brought it back, set it up here again. We have 2 N scales. One of the N scales was donated from the soccer club that no longer existed, and it was basically out of an English scenery, and it's very nice, and we're very happy to have that one. Our main HO layout is in the back room, a Model Railroad Club room. And then we have the 2 O scales there. The O scales, we just finished completing one O scale that runs around the top of the room at 7 feet height. And that's operational. We just have to do some scenery work on the background and add a little more to make it more interesting. The bottom one, well, is just at the beginning stage. We had expanded. Before we used to have a 9 by 5 layout, and now it's gone to 32 by 5 layout, and right now it's in the process of working A lot of work to be done. We got one section that's operational at one end where the tracks are operational, but there's a lot of work to do with scenery and stuff like that. And at the other end, we have the other part starting, but it's not ready, not operational, and then eventually we'll combine with a third part in the middle. So hopefully we'll run from one end to the other, or we could operate 3 different trains at one time. Yeah.
Well, that's good. You certainly have a variety in layouts. You meet once a week?
We do have a Monday night run nights every Monday night throughout the whole year. In fact, be it a holiday or not, it seems that there are members who like to come out and run the train. So between 7 and 9 every Monday, there's usually somebody here to run trains, and it's open to not only to the members but to the public who are interested to come for a visit. And that's basically what we're doing right now. And then we have our special events that come up throughout the year, like this day. Today is a special event. Yeah.
Well, I'd like to thank you very much, Guy, for your time, and we're certainly enjoying the show, and I'm sure everybody that's coming is enjoying it. So thank you very much, and I'd like to wish you all the best in your future endeavors here. It's an ideal situation for you.
Well, it's a pleasure to have you guys come out, and hope you come again, and hopefully more people will come and see us. So have a nice day, and thank you for coming.
Oh yes, we'll be back for sure. Here with a guest, Edward, young man involved in model trains, obviously.
Yep. I have a very small layout, so a few engines. My newest collection from here is 7 Pacific.
Very good. Obviously, you're an HO.
Yeah.
How did you get started?
Well, it's all started like 2017. Pretty much I'd gone to many model train shows and I'd always wanted one. And then I was on Amazon and found a set and ended up getting it. And it turned into me getting a table and started testing engines and using train cars and building train cars. Very good. And you've come to the Portage Club to visit them. What do you think of their layouts? I think it's very impressive for a very small town to have like multiple layouts and a decent vendor sale here. I think it's very impressive. They also have a very unique situation. They're connected with the heritage group that own the station. Something us modelers would love to be involved in. Yeah, it would be awesome to be connected with an old CPR station. Well, thank you, Edward, for stopping by and spending a little time with us. Continue enjoying your day, and all the best in the hobby. Okay, thank you.
They sure had a lot of activities.
Yes.
And one nice thing on that club is not all older people like us with gray hair.
No.
They got younger people.
Yes. They even have younger people that have to come with a parent or guardian that are getting involved in the model train. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
But the younger generation that is in the club has brought in at that point technologies, and everybody at that club in there get along with the learning curve and everything of the technology.
They're on Wi-Fi and can operate trains on their phones and
or they can operate the train by computers.
Yes,
Which is good.
Yep.
So that was a great day, and I hope you enjoy that we share with you that day at the Portage Model Railroad Clubs.
Yeah, and if you can and you're in the Portage area, check them out.
Yeah, that's right.
They're usually there Monday nights.
Yep. And they always look for new members.
Yes.
And right after a short commercial will be the photo of the month.
Enjoy. good segment.
As usual.
As usual, yes.
You know, everybody like photo of the month.
Yes.
You know, it's give us some idea of what people can do.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
And the next good segment that people love
View from above.
is a view from above.
So enjoy.
You know, Peter, when we did the episode 21B, which is the Mega Train show in Winnipeg, a couple of weekends ago, we made a mistake.
Yeah, yes. We had an interview with Rob Arsenault,
Yep.
who does weathering professionally.
And instead of giving his contact as weathermytrains.com, we put it weathering my train.
Yes, so apologies to Rob.
Yeah. And the proper contacts for Rob's, his website is www.weathermytrain.com.
Right.
His Instagram is #weathermytrain, and his Facebook is facebook.com/weathermytrain. So,
Yes. So apologies to Rob,
yeah.
and everybody check out those sites because he does some wonderful work.
So we brought a little clip of the interview that Peter had with Rob, and we'll run that, and we'll also have on that all those address,
The information, yeah.
and they will also be in the description below the video as you watch it.
Yes.
If you miss it during the video. So let's go for that interview.
Yes.
And you're a weathering guy?
Yes, I'm a full-time weathering artist.
Yes.
Through job loss in 2016, so I had to pivot, as they say.
Yes.
But so far, it's been good.
It's been good.
Yep.
I assume you have customers all over the place.
Everywhere. Yep.
Yeah.
All throughout the United States, Canada, Europe, New Zealand, Australia, everywhere.
Wonderful. It's I haven't got into weathering myself. I've done very little, so I know there's quite a bit involved in the process.
It is.
Can you kind of give us a little kind of hint as to some of the process that's involved?
Well, I use professional grade acrylic paint because I was in the Air Force for 27 years, and the whole time I was in the Air Force, I actually would be commissioned to make aviation aircraft paintings for air and ground crew. So depending on the fleet I served on, maybe somebody might want an F-18 or a CP-140 Aurora or a Sea King or a Twin Huey or whatever. So I would make aviation art that you display on your wall out of acrylic paint. And now I use those same acrylic paints. I modify them a little bit to make them a little stickier, and I put those on model trains.
Okay. Now, are you using other mediums besides paint?
Nope. When I started, I used to use a little bit of powder, but now I exclusively use fine art acrylic paint. Yeah, I just alter the viscosity, transparency, etc., and I apply them in layers and go with that.
So this is a full-time job, right?
It is a full-time job, whether I like it or not.
Well, I guess if it's a full-time job, it pays the bills, so that's...
Oh yeah, it pays the bills, and it's fun. It doesn't really feel like work. I do it 7 days a week, and I have some pretty long hours to make ends meet, but I enjoy it quite a bit. So, and my wife is a believer, which is even bigger.
Wow.
She's now a believer that it can actually be done. Yeah.
Very good, very good. And, I mean, you get into something like this, and you have a clientele, but I gather from the way you feel about it, it's not really a job.
It's fun. I enjoy it.
It's what do they say? If you enjoy what you're doing, you never work a day in your life.
I would say that's a pretty fair assessment. Yeah. I really enjoy when people send me locomotives or rolling stock for particularly heavy weathering jobs. So, I've spent the last year or so trying to hone my skills on making rust streaks and rust spots and things like that. Fading freight cars and locomotive cabs. I've done a lot of the scale trains, war bonnet -9s, and I'm preparing to do some Athearn 4-window CN-9s for myself and other people as well. So I think it's going to be a good year ahead.
Good for you. COVID, in that sense, may not have affected you in that way?
I was afraid it might, but it actually went the other way because people were pretty much trapped in the basement, so they decided I'm going to go ahead and send some trains out for weathering. Yeah, I hear from a lot of guys that have followed me for 3, 4, 5, 6 years, and they've recently said it's time for me to get into weathering. Layout's done. I want to weather some trains. So
that's kind of my thing too. Is I'm busy doing layouts and haven't got to the weathering. I weather my buildings and stuff as I go along.
Well, I think it's the next natural step. If you're weathering buildings already, that rolling stock and locomotives would naturally come along. If you want to make them look a lot more realistic, then they need a little bit of dirt because you don't often see a very clean locomotive or freight car on a real railroad. That's about it, yeah. And anybody can do it. I mean, it's not that difficult. You can start out small. You can use pan pastels and matte media and go with that.
How? Oh, yes. Good point. How do people get in touch with you?
There's various methods. I have a Facebook page, which is facebook.com/weathermytrains. Some people lately have been contacting me through Instagram, which is #weathermytrains. That's WEATHERMYTRAINS. And also through my website, which is weathermytrains.com. So you can contact me there and ask for a quote, or I've got my prices right there on the website.
We got it done?
We got it done. We got it corrected.
Yep. So, you were talking to me about Dauphin.
Dauphin, yes. I was watching the CTV morning show the other day, and they were visiting Dauphin Museum. It's the old Dauphin rail station, CN, I believe. And they are celebrating 125 years the station existed. The fellow was saying that originally the station cost about $38,000, I think, to build. And with the renos that they had to do, it was over $1 million or something to turn it into a museum and restore it and, get it up and functional. So they are apparently operating. It looks like they have some really nice displays of the Dauphin area and the importance of Dauphin and the Dauphin station. So, worthwhile checking out. If you're in the Dauphin area, check out the museum.
Yeah. More than likely one of these they will go there too, but would be during the summer because they ain't close.
Yes. And we'll see how sponsorship goes for travel, right?
Yeah, that'd be nice. If we had, we're always looking to have some sponsors so we can be more mobile and bring more content and also have better equipment so that we can bring a better quality video because like anything, we get bugs here and there that we got to correct, So, but regardless, just before we close this show, because we're pretty much so up in the time, go visit the webpage of Miniprint, www.miniprint.com, and look at all the special things that are there in 3D printing for Halloweens, because you can dress your layout for Halloweens with that stuff, and it's just beautiful pieces that you make in there. So,
and non-Halloween, recently we got a package, the crew change.
Yeah, that is nice.
I mean, it's something maybe you don't normally think of on your layout to have a crew change. So Mini Prince has got the whole crew change.
And he's non-sexist either because he's got as many trained women, that you got trained men involved. It's everything that you will not find anywhere else.
Yes.
So that's the bottom line of it.
So check them out.
Great quality stuff, So www.miniprint.com. He's waiting for you and make your layout come alive.
Yes.
Till then, follow. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to leave your comments below.
We
Click
read
the bell.
Yeah, we read the comments.
Oh yes, because they give us directions. And till then, happy modeling. We'll see you in episode 23 in November.
Take care.